When someone sustains a severe disability such as a spinal cord injury, they're often perceived by themselves and others as asexual beings, mascots, sidekicks, or friends, yet their sexual urges and desire for intimacy continue. One impact of inadequate sexual education is that these initial perceptions frequently become reality, and people go on to live unnecessarily diminished lives. It has been said that there's only one happiness in life: to love and be loved, and people with spinal cord injuries should not be excluded from that opportunity.
That's the first thing everybody wants to know. Even girlfriends, new friends, everybody wants to know. That's like the magic question. Can you? How?
I was rolling back home and one of the young ladies called me. She had my number. She's like, "Hey, Damon, you came up with topic of conversation." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, what's happening?" She was like, "I don't know how to ask you." As soon as she said that, ladies and gentlemen in chairs, y'all know exactly what that meant. She want to know. You understand? She want to know if it still works.
For some people, they don't realize that they can still have intimate relationships. Tends to be the younger injured person's first question, but there's a lot of older couples who've been married 40 years, they get injured, and their first question is, how am I supposed to be a wife to my husband? We are defined as human beings who, recreate. We like to reproduce, we like to engage in sexual activities and have those intimate relationships.
When I got into this field, I had women that came up to me and they said when they had a spinal cord injury, their doctor said to them when they asked them about sex, give up, it's over. There is a huge placebo and nocebo effect in everything we do. If you have a spinal cord injury and you've been told orgasms are a problem after injury, that's going to work against you. The reality is, people with spinal cord injuries can have orgasms. You have to think about how your mind interacts with your body when you're sexually active.
It was okay, you are in an accident, you're not going to be able to walk, but nobody tells you about the levels of injury and how it's going to affect the body itself. So when I was having sex with my boyfriend at the time, it was amazing to me that yes, I could feel parts and yes, I couldn't, but where to go to get this information? It was like a hush thing. Now you're disabled, now live with it.
We have a warped sense of what intimacy and sexuality is in our society sometimes. If someone bumps into me and asks me the question at this stage, I'll address it because I want people to be comfortable with me. I want people to know. And that person might leave that conversation and not be so shy to approach an individual with a disability.
I've never talked about sex so much with everybody around me as I have since I met Dan. When someone sees that you're dating somebody who's in a wheelchair and has a disability, you can see the look on their face right away. And so I found myself preemptively being like, yep, we can, yep, we do, yep, it's possible. Answering their questions almost even before they ask them because I know they want to know. It's better to be educated about it and to understand how it all works.
The premise that I think that you're coming from, which is a really common one, is that the desire comes from the anticipation of genital insertion or being inserted into, and that's really what drives whether somebody wants to be sexual with somebody else or not. That is not the only thing that can drive whether or not somebody wants to have sex with somebody. This is one of my biggest points about sex and disability. That is such a misconception about sex that it has to be about genital intercourse.
Some myths about sex and SCI are, if you can't feel it, why bother? If you can't have an orgasm, what's the point of having sex? No one's ever going to love me now that I'm in a wheelchair. Yes, people can have sex after a spinal cord injury. As a matter of fact, and I know this may be hard for some people to believe, but many people have told me that their sex after their spinal cord injury is actually better because it's more intimate and there's much more communication between the partners.
Person that gets injured, like recently, it's always going to be the same topic as, nobody's going to love me, nobody's going to look at me, how am I going to date, I can't do this, I can't do that, it's not the same. But in time,
you notice that it's a different life that you have to live, so you have to adjust to this different life, and plus this different life, you have so many opportunities. It's just that you don't know them yet. A lot of people are scared, and not until they get to that point to just start exploring this new life will you know if you can or cannot.